The last unit is focused on promoting the ability of the students to use in an appropriate and creative way the multimedia text and contents found on the internet, respecting the copyright and reshaping materials rather than only cut and paste contents from the internet. Page 117. This activity aims at introducing the concept of copyright, copyleft, and Creative Commons, and in particular, the students first are asked to reflect on their personal practice of using contents found on the internet, and then they are asked to judge certain situations where people are using certain contents found on the internet. Now, we are ready to give an eye at the website of the Creative Commons licenses, where all the conditions of use are specified. And what I suggest you is, especially for educational and professional uses, I suggest you to always try to use contents delivered under Creative Commons licenses. Let's have a look at the possibility and the conditions that regulate the use of contents delivered by under Creative Commons conditions. As you can read in the website, Creative Commons is a non-profit organization that enables the sharing and use of creativity and knowledge through free legal tools. So this is a type of license that applies to creative production. Our free, easy-to-use copyright licenses provide a simple, standardized way to give the public permission to share and use your creative work on conditions of your choice. So the author that delivers the content under this license can decide how other people will be using the content. So the use of Creative Commons doesn't mean that the users, that other people can do what they want. No, this is not a fair use of multimedia content. Creative Commons licenses let you easily change your copyright terms, so you can also change over the time. For example, at the beginning you allow people only to reuse the product without modifying it, but over the time you can also change your advice about, your idea about how the people can use your product. In the website, I suggest you to carefully read all it is written in the website, and after this, have a look at the specific licenses that they created. When you see that there is CC, the double C within a cycle, this means that the content is covered, is delivered under this license. 118, you have the different possibilities. The first possibility is attribution, which is indicated by the symbol BI. This means that if a content is delivered under this license, the content can be reused. You can reuse the content, but you have to mention, you have to quote the author of the content. If the author will be using only these symbols and only this clause, this means that you can also modify and redistribute the product, the original content, provided that the author is quoted. But if the pictures, if the contents are delivered under this license, this means that you can reuse and even modify. Second condition, NC, which means non-commercial use. If the author has put also this other clause, this other condition, this means that you can reuse content, but you cannot sell the new production you have created through this content. Okay? Third condition, not derived words, ND. And this means that you cannot modify or reword the content. You can just reuse it by quoting the author, but no modifications are allowed. Last condition, SA. If the author specifies this condition as A, this means that you can do whatever you want, but you can do it by following the same condition chosen by the author, decided by the author at the beginning. This type of license, the Creative Commons, allow to distribute, share educational contents in a fair way. The magic words are fair use, and the fair use means making people able to access content without paying, and at the same time regulate the spreading of the content on the web. So, talking about authorship, open contents, Creative Commons, etc., is relevant also for these social reasons. Of course, there are other problems, for example, the fact that the most part of the contents are published in English. And this is a big obstacle, but I think that this is an important step towards a society where knowledge and education is really available for all. But at the same time, fair use, which means you cannot do whatever you want. This is not right. There is the active positions, everything is forbidden, or everything is allowed. I think it's not a good solution. The good solution is in the medium. You can use whatever you want, but under certain conditions. There are other websites and databases that allow you to download contents delivered under these conditions, which means that you can reuse some contents without doing illegal things. In the toolkit, okay, page 123, you can find a list of database, a list of web portals, and so on, when you can find pictures or music or sounds. The first database mentioned is Flickr, which includes also content that cannot be reused because are covered by copyright. You must set the option Creative Commons. Second, Morgify is another site which contains free digital images. Then our media and open photo. For music, you can use Bitpic and also Bitpic, which contains music delivered with the license of Creative Commons. And also free sounds. For example, you are creating, a presentation with some noise. The people working, the ring of noise related to the daily life. You can download content and sounds released under Creative Commons license, etc., etc. Okay? Have a look at the cases presented at pages 120, 121, 122. You have three cases. Okay, you have to consider that the content, the pictures, the images have been delivered under the condition by BI. Please try together to analyze the situation and decide which condition is allowed and what conditions are not allowed according to the Creative Commons licenses. Case 1. Lucia wants to create a PowerPoint presentation. She started looking for some images on Flickr, the database we have seen just before, and she finds some beautiful pictures of Greek temples situated on the Italian island. The first case is true. She can't use the resource without mentioning the author. And also, the use of this type of license doesn't limit to only commercial use. So, she can't. Antonio wants to create music and he wants to play the concert for the ending of the school year. He decided to search on YouTube to find some track to remix. He only looks among the video released by under licensed Creative Commons and he finds two that have the following conditions of use. Well, Antonio can use a video, modify it and distribute it, but he must mention the author. Right. Okay. Antonio can use a video, modify it and distribute it, but for non-commercial use only. It depends on the condition established by the original source. So, overall, this is false. Antonio can use a video, but under the conditions of use established by the author only.
Yes.
Yes.